What's up, YouTube? This is Wawacko. My name is Parker, and we are here for a brand new series on the channel. We've been wanting to do this for a while now, but obviously with Zack and I both being far apart, we weren't able to, and we finally are going to start off on our weekly reviews of Raw and Smackdown. I will be doing Raw each week, and Zack will be doing SmackDown each week. We're super excited. So Raw, we are calling Raw Rundown, which I think is awesome, and then SmackDown Survey. Raw Rundown's way better. Just saying, because I came up with that one. Zack came up with the other one. So on these videos, we're going to be going through the respective show and giving the parts that we liked an up and the parts that we did not like a down. So pretty simple, and hope you guys do enjoy. Starting off on Raw this week, we had Roman Reigns going up against Jason Jordan, and this match is getting an up. I thought it was a great match. Jordan is really great in the ring, and I wish that they could have just went in a different way with him as a singles competitor than being Kurt Angle's son, because he's really great, and people seem to be starting to get behind him a little bit more, but not to the level that he could have had he just been his own man, kind of, without having to be in the shadow of his dad, and people honestly just not caring about the angle because it's not believable in this day and age. But he and Reigns had a really good match, and it was cool. It's showing that Jason Jordan, even though he's lost to Cena last week and then Reigns this week, he can hang in the ring with the big guys, and I think that's really good. And I think that definitely the continuing loss for Jason is going to lead to a heel turn at some point. That would be my prediction. But overall, whether that's what they go with, this match was great, so it's going to get an up. The next thing that happened was John Cena came out after the match where Reigns won and confronted Roman, and they cut promos on each other. This is also getting up. These promos that they've been doing have been really good. Obviously, Cena kind of tends to come off on top in each of these confrontations simply just because Cena's a little bit better with his mic skills. He's had obviously a lot more time. So, but not to down Roman, because he's doing really well as well. And I'm really liking these promos. When I first saw that they were going with Roman versus Cena, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be awful. This is gonna be just terrible, but it's actually been really well done, I think. And the way they've been just destroying kayfabe and just destroying the fourth wall. There is no more fourth wall. There are only 3 walls now, because they've destroyed it so much with this feud. But it's definitely been entertaining, and I'm looking forward to the match at No Mercy. So I can't complain. The next match was Sasha Banks versus Emma, and this is getting a down. I did not enjoy this match. The crowd wasn't into it. I wasn't into it. Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax were also both on commentary. They were both boring. There's nothing about this Fatal 4-Way at No Mercy is exciting. The backstage with Nia and Alexa is stupid. I'm not a fan. If you are, I'm sorry. This is getting it down for me. And there's not much else to talk about. Like Sasha won. That was the right thing, I guess, to do. But I'm just not into it personally. I'm also going to give a special down for Booker T, because I hate Booker T's commentary. It's awful. I would prefer, honestly, David Otunga at this point, because at least David doesn't talk. Booker T talks too much, and he says stupid stuff in a stupid tone, and I don't like it. And I just wish he'd bugger off. I don't know what buggering is, but I'm just not a fan of Booker T. as a commentator. Another thing that really annoys me about him is that he doesn't seem to want to pick a side of whether he's a commentator that roots for the faces or roots for the heels. They need to define those lines with all their commentators, because it's just really confusing how one match Booker T will go for the faces, and the next match he's talking about, oh, it ain't cheating unless you get caught or something, you know. I just don't like it. I'm tired of Booker T. Please, can he go away, please? Thank you. The next thing that happened was very good, and it is, of course, getting it up because it involved Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. This was really great. Paul Heyman, cut a promo, and he's fantastic as he always is. And he basically kind of turned this MMA style, and he was like, you know what? Let's fight right now. Braun, I know you're looking for an excuse to come out of here. Here's your excuse. Fight now. And it was great. It was cool. It was a good promo. It made the whole rivalry seem legit. It was cool. I liked it. I always loved Paul. And then Braun came out, and I actually thought that they were going to let Brock get some offense on Braun to kind of keep it where you don't know which way it's going to go in the match. But they didn't. Brock goes for a suplex, and Braun Strowman no-sells it like a champ, and he just gets right back up. Brock's going like he does whenever he hits somebody with a German, turns around, Braun's right there, he's like, oh my god. And then Braun just destroys Brock. It was fantastic. He's getting a huge up. Definitely amazing. The next match was Bray Wyatt versus Goldust. This was tough for me to decide because I haven't been a huge fan of Wyatt lately. I haven't liked the feud with Finn Balor and everything, and I don't like that this is the role that they've reduced Goldust to. But I decided to give this an up. I thought that doing the parallel of Goldust having the mask and the paint and to cover up that he's actually just a regular guy, paralleling that to Finn Balor, who wears the demon paint whenever he wants to be the Demon King. And I thought that was actually pretty decent parallel that Wyatt made, and I actually understood everything he said. That was important. I like that. It wasn't just needless rambling. And I thought it was cool. The match was good. Goldust obviously still great, even at his age. He can still go in the ring. And even though he lost, he looked good. And I kind of was wondering if that was intended to be a face turn for Goldust, with the fact that Wyatt, wiped basically his identity off of him at the end of it. It wasn't, something that you see heels in that sort of situation. But I don't know. But all in all, this is like the one good thing that I think has come out of this rivalry. And while I hate that it's continued in SummerSlam, I think this is a step maybe in the right direction. So we'll definitely have to see. The next thing that happened was really confusing. It was the Raw tag teams. It was Anderson and Gallows were going to have a match with Sheamus and Cesaro, and Ambrose and Rollins were going to be on commentary. And then Ambrose and Rollins started trash talking Sheamus and Cesaro, and I guess Sheamus and Cesaro heard them, so they started yelling at them, and then Rollins and Ambrose come over and they started fighting, and then Anderson and Gallows come in and they start all fighting. It's all three of them fighting, and it led to a 8-man tag team match including the Hardy Boys. The whole thing was really weird. I hate when they do this kind of stuff where everyone just brawls. I don't know, I don't always hate it, but the way this was done, I didn't like it. It's gonna get a down for me. The next match that happened was Elias versus Kalisto. The match itself, I'm going to give an up because I thought that the two did really well together. I thought that the match was pretty well done, even though it was pretty short. I thought that both men looked good, Elias especially, who did, in fact, end up winning that match. But I am going to give it down as well, and that is because I do not understand the way that they're going with these two men. Kalisto should be on 205 Live because they need more stars on 205 Live. They need more uh, established characters, and Kalisto would be good there, and he would be relevant, and he could actually be a contender for the championship. And Elias, they seem to be like they're protecting him, and they seem to be like, it seems like they want him to continue to win a lot of matches and stuff like that, but I'm just not seeing the point of it. I'm not seeing any sort of storyline starting to develop. Um, like they've started a couple of storylines, like they started the thing with Ambrose a while back, and then that just petered out and never came up again. And then the same thing with him and Finn Balor. And so I'm just giving it down to the fact that I just don't think they're using these guys correctly, and they're just kind of being thrown together for no reason. And I don't like that. So the next match was John Cena versus Braun Strowman. I was surprised that they did this match. I figured they would save this for a pay-per-view down the road. Can't speak. But they decided to throw it on Raw. So, whatever. It's getting up. It was a great match. Strowman looked like a monster. And Cena let him destroy him. It kind of reminded me in a way of when John Cena faced Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Not to the same extent. Braun didn't destroy him quite as much as Brock did. But Strowman definitely got in most of the offense. And I loved that he just got it. He just didn't care about winning the match, and he just gets the stairs and just running power slam Cena onto the stairs. It was great. I loved it. Strowman's by far the greatest thing on Raw at this time, and so it's getting a massive up. The next segment that we had was The Miz and Maurice, along with The Miz Taraj, were all out on the stage, and The Miz and Maurice actually announced that they are pregnant with their first child, and that's great. Congratulations to The Miz and Maurice. We wish them a healthy and happy pregnancy. That's great. That's awesome. I did like this. Enzo actually came out and was being really stupid. I don't understand why Enzo was able to do this, because he's now a cruiserweight, and they've literally never put a cruiserweight in the same ring at the same time with a person, a part of like the heavyweights. And so I don't know why this was a thing, but this is getting up anyways, just because of the mad promo where just Miz destroyed Enzo. Like, it was great. It was hilarious. Miz was fantastic. And it was just really nice to get to see it. That, of course, led to a match, though, between Enzo and The Miz. And that match is actually getting a down. I didn't like the match, because partway through they both started like stopping and like getting on the mic and trash talking, which the trash talking was funny, don't get me wrong, but when it's time, like, there's a time for the talking and promos and bashing on each other, then there's the time for the match, and I don't particularly tend to like when those are like mixed together. I don't know, I just wasn't a fan. And it was just the whole thing that he was able to have a match, that Enzo was able to have a match with Miz, was just really confusing. I don't remember them ever explaining how that was possible, but I just didn't like it. But I will give it up to when Enzo Amore was just completely destroyed by the Miz Taraj and the Miz. I don't know why. I haven't been a huge fan of Enzo for a while. He's gotten really annoying, and it was just kind of funny just to watch. Enzo get beat up by Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Just the fact that Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas were like beating up someone, it was kind of funny and kind of ironic. And then just the total, man, they buried him. I think Enzo definitely got his comeuppance for all his backstage heat, which was crazy. They, threw out the fourth wall there too with all that. And the last match of Raw was actually the 8-man tag team match that I talked about earlier between Ambrose and Rollins and the Hardys versus Anderson and Gallows and Cesaro and Sheamus. The match was really good. All the people involved are incredible athletes, and so this is getting an up. It was great. The Hardys are fantastic. Ambrose and Rollins are fantastic. Cesaro and Sheamus are fantastic. Anderson and Gallows are great. Everyone did their jobs. Um, everyone did amazing, and the Hardys and Ambrose and Rollins were victorious. I think that was the right way to go with it. And so yeah, I can't hardly complain except for the final down of the night, because I'm going to give this down just to Anderson and Gallows. I hate the way they've kind of been treated. They really are getting the short end of the deal in the whole tag team division, and I hate that because I really think they should be a legitimate threat in the tag team division. And I think that they've just gotten the short end of the stick a lot throughout the past year or so. And yeah, so that was Raw, guys. That was the Raw rundown, the very first ever Raw rundown. And I am very excited that we're starting this off finally. We've been talking about it for a while, and I'm really happy that we're able to start now. And I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like and comment what you thought of Raw this week. And subscribe to make sure you don't miss any other of the Raw rundowns. And of course, tune in for SmackDown survey that will be coming up as well. With all that, guys, I've been Parker from Wawa Echo, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace.